Welcome back to the Workers' Day edition of Morning Live here on SABC. It is, of course, the 1st of May, International Workers' Day. Our team of journalists and reporters are in PE, and they'll be bringing us some of the activities that have been planned for today. Aldrin Sampier is currently standing by here. He is with Sdumo Dlamini, who is the president of Cosatu. Aldrin, good morning once again to you.
Well, yes, good morning, Pearl. We're coming live to you from the Isaac Wolfenson Stadium here in Port Elizabeth. Of course, as you've indicated, that this is where the main May Day rally will be taking place, where we expect President Cyril Ramaphosa to deliver the keynote address. Of course, this being his first May Day rally that he will be addressing this Workers' Federation, the same Workers' Federation actually that was the first of its alliance partners, the ANC-led alliance partners, to come out in support of Cyril Ramaphosa to be elected and succeed the former President Jacob Zuma. Right now I'm joined by the President of Cosatu, Sdumo Dlamini. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. The theme focusing around building unity and cohesion of Cosatu to advance the national democratic revolution. What exactly does this mean?
Thank you very much, Adrian, and good morning in this very beautiful, chilly weather of the Port Elizabeth in Nelson Mandela Bay. Look, we are building a workers' federation, and you continue to do that without tiring. Every time, every year, every Congress, we do an evaluation on what were the strengths, what were the gains in the previous period. And we continue to do that. During this time, from our last Congress to the next Congress, as you have said, building Cosatu unity and cohesion in advancing the national democratic revolution is very relevant, because that's the prime time for an agenda for the achievement of a national democratic revolution, which is going on and on. Today, the economy is such that the working class feels the pinch so much, and they've been doing so over the past recent decades. And if we don't fix it this time, it will take us much longer. We are indeed building stronger Cosatu and stronger Cosatu unions, but for the working class to be united and speaking in one voice in this country against the ills, the VAT that has been increased now, the IPPs that government have just signed, the labor brokers that are still a menace, the e-tolls in Gauteng, and the demand, the quest for land for the people of this country is where workers matter.
Let's just quickly speak about some of the gains. I remember one press briefing, at least, where Cosatu was voicing its concerns, where we would have had this implementation around the amendments of the pension funds of workers. And Cosatu said, not in our name. This will not happen. And that was a gain, I guess, for this federation. It goes around and comes around. When Minister Nhlanhla was Minister of Finance, we said stop this, and government under Jacob Zuma listened and stopped the implementation of what workers didn't like. And we gave each other 2 years to fix that. They have not fixed it. I'm sure Nhlanhla's coming back is clear that he must fix that. It has not been fixed. Workers' pensions are not for sale. They are not for anybody to play around. They are workers' savings, deferred wages of the workers. So we achieved that. We are still busy with that. This year around, we are realizing for the first time in 2018, after a period of over 50 years, a demand for a legislated national minimum wage in this country is going to happen. A floor below which no other employer must pay any worker in this country. It's an achievement, and it has got to be realized and recognized as that. Improve on it, build on it. Yeah, and the thing about the national minimum wage is actually today was supposed to have been the day that the national minimum wage is implemented, but that date has now been pushed back, and there's no date now set.
I hear that there are fellows who are lying, telling our people that it has been deferred because of them raising the issue. No ways. We are
having some smaller issues that must be ironed out. The Minister of Labour has announced that very clearly, and we have agreed that fine, let us delay it, but it must be implemented not later than August this year. It has got to kick in, and the workers that are standing to benefit from it are waiting.
Let's quickly speak about the politics of the unions and the federations of quite a bold statement for Cosatu to be having its event here, of course, knowing very well that this is a strong constituency of your former union and former alliance partner within the federation, NUMSA, which is also having some event that will be taking place, not the main Workers' Day rally that will be taking place. What message exactly is it that Cosatu is sending inadvertently to SAFTU as well as NUMSA?
Well, we are saying the unity of workers in this country is important. It is very, very important for us to turn these towns which are becoming ghost towns under the DA in Nelson Mandela Bay here. We need workers united. So whether workers from NUMSA, Cosatu, today is our day. We are here to say our plight is very, very critical. The world must know. South Africa must know that. We are not in any form competing with SAFTU or NUMSA here. Actually, we will meet each other in the streets, greet each other and say well done and well wishes on your own. We are here at the Isaac Wolfson's Stadium as Cosatu, celebrating but also raising the plight of the workers.
If the unity of the workers is so important, and of course Cosatu has said this, as well as the president of the country, the president of the ANC, that the minimum wage is not a living wage, why is it that Cosatu did not join that SAFTU march that said that this is not a living wage and we reject this wage?
Cosatu led in the negotiations for this national minimum wage, and indeed we are signatories in the agreement that is there. I put my signature, and my signature is not very cheap. I put my signature where I realized that workers stand to benefit on this one, and I had no doubt in my mind. So we are not going to be in any way standing in opposition to our decision, our agreement. We will work on this, improve on it. It's very, very critical, this agreement, because, Adrian, today, as I speak to you, there are workers in this country who earn less than 1,500 rand a month. They will be getting another 2,000 rands when this is effected. It's very, very important. It goes some way to fix something. It's not a living wage, it's a minimum wage.
And I guess that's the other anomaly, because the argument is that the agreement does not really say 3,500 rand a month. It says 20 rand an hour per month, per hour, 20 rand per hour. And on the other side, it's not a national minimum wage as it's purported to be, because it only affects, those who are affected include the domestic workers who will be only getting like 15 rand, as well as farm workers who are standing around 18 rand per hour.
See, talk to those workers when this is implemented. They will tell you how it is impacting on them. The agreement is crafted in a way that the workers who will be impacted by this will tell you a story when they receive this money. We've factored all that. The agricultural workers, the domestic workers, we've crafted a national minimum wage that suits them. We've crafted a national minimum wage that will create a base floor below which no other employer will be paying in this country. A very, very critical injunction in this country. To say 20 rands per hour or 3,500 or 3,900 is purely semantic. Nominal terms, workers will be receiving in their pockets every month once this kicks in, some 3,900 rands, others 3,500 rands. Others are given a minimum. You don't have to, even if you work less than 2 hours, 4 hours a day, you will be paid for 6 hours when we achieve that one, because that's still an outstanding issue. So there is a floor from which we're creating a stronger base for workers to be dignified.
Let's quickly speak about the dominance of Cosatu within the labour market. Does the establishment of SAFTU at all give you guys sleepless nights?
In this country, South Africa, up to now, as I speak to you in this minute, there is no other workers' federation in this country except Cosatu, which remains the strongest. We may be having challenges here and there, but in this country, no other federations that has reached the stage of Cosatu, whether they are born yesterday or born the day before yesterday, Cosatu still remains. But we are not boastful. We are committed to do our work building this Cosatu. 33 years down the line, Cosatu must still be alive.
And the unity of Cosatu, I guess, is quite important for the federation as well in terms of holding the federation together. The likes of Cyril Ramaphosa, who was then the deputy president of the ANC and the deputy president of the country, had to be called in to try and broker some sort of an agreement with then NUMSA, who was still one of your affiliates.
Yes. Remember, President Cyril Ramaphosa, when he was still GS of NUM, and before that, he led the unity talks that worked to build this Cosatu. So he has been with us. When we went into the difficulties in 2012, 2015, he was with us leading those unity talks in Cosatu. We are still standing here today. Not only him, leadership of the ANC as a whole, leadership of the party, including Jacob Zuma, worked to build this very Cosatu in this recent past. And we owe our gratitude to all those leaders. We're celebrating today, of course, with Cyril Ramaphosa, now the head of state, the president of the ANC, who Cosatu has supported. Our May Day here to send a clear message. Cyril, siyakuthanda impela, but we don't like the VAT, we don't like the IPPs, we want a land expropriation without compensation. We don't want what is happening in the public sector negotiations, where negotiations have deadlocked, collapsed because government changes positions on the table. We want workers in the bus strike to get what they want. So it's our day. We'll be saying that. We are unflinching. We'll tell him.
Just quickly, in closing, this of course brings back the memories of what happened last year, this time around in Mangaung, where you had the president of the ANC, then Jacob Zuma, being booed. What's different now? What happens now going forward?
Yekelana maqubu seyidlulile aka 2017 neBloemfontein. We're now in 2018. There's a new leadership of the ANC. Cosatu embraces all of them. Cosatu supports all of them, and in this May Day, throughout our 14 rallies and marches, those leaders of the ANC will receive the resounding support of Cosatu.
Well, one of those members of the ANC's leadership is Jesse Duarte, and we'll be speaking to in a couple of minutes about where the state of this federation, Cosatu, as well as the state of labor within this country. We'll speak to Jesse Duarte in a couple of minutes. It's quick to an ad break.